I am so excited for this new collection from Lawless. I don't think I've actually ever reviewed Lawless individually on my channel, but they came out with a collection. It's called the Lavender Collection. I love lavender. So it looks really beautiful. I love what they did with it. So I'm going to just do a review of it today while I'm getting ready, hence the wet hair. This is a true get ready with me. I've mentioned this, but I'm moving this week, so I gotta work fast on these videos before I start packing for today. Now, it's a small collection. They did send this to me in PR, and I'm really, really excited about it. So the collection that they sent over to me consists of an eyeshadow palette. I've never tried Lawless's eyeshadow palettes, and then 2 new shades of the Forget the Filler Line Plumper Smoothing Gloss, and I'm excited for these new colors. I recently just tried a clear one, and I really enjoy the formula of it, so I'm excited about these colors. So let's take a look. You can purchase these right now on the Lawless website as well as at Sephora, and it does say that these are limited edition, so if you do want to get your hands on these, only for a limited time, I'd assume until they sold out. Sure, let's turn the lights down. Let's take a look at the eyeshadow palette together. This is the lavender one, is the name of it. It's talc free, and it's only $27, which I think is a really nice price. Here is the back as well, and then this is from Annie Lawless, the owner of the brand, and she says lavender is my happy color, and that I do agree with. Now here is what the palette actually looks like, and this is made in the USA, by the way, and has a 24-month shelf life. Don't look too close at how bad I applied my press-ons. Really cute packaging. It is cardboard. And then here is the back. Okay, are you ready? Isn't this just so gorgeous? Look at it. So this is, to me, a great palette for lavender shades that is still very wearable. I love how they curated this. Now, if you take away the 2 lavender shades, you can see, right, it's pretty neutral, leans more cool, but you do have these pops of color. I absolutely cannot wait to get these on the eyes. Also in the collection, they launched 2 new shades of the Forget the Filler Lip Plumper Gloss. I really enjoyed these glosses. They are $26 each. So the one that I tried, I told you, was clear, and I wanted more colors, so this came right at the perfect time. These have a 12-month shelf life and are made in the USA. And here are the colors, you guys. Don't they just look so beautiful? Ooh, I cannot wait. Let's go ahead and swatch the eyeshadow palette first. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig into the top rows. And like I said, I have no experience with Lawless eyeshadows, so I really don't know what to expect. So here's how they look. Ooh, that looks pretty. Okay. The matte shadows are a little soft. They have like a little bit of a dry feeling, but that's not always bad. We'll see how that applies to the eyes. And ooh, this feels really creamy. The shimmer shades have a very nice consistency. We'll see about these mattes, because these are the only ones I'm not 100% sure on. But the shimmers feel really, really great. You can see the mattes look like they're not as pigmented, but it could translate onto the eyes very well, because these are performing swatch-wise very similar to Viseart matte shadows, which are absolutely amazing. So we'll see, but this is a swatch of the lavender one. Looks really pretty. I'm going to do one eye off camera, and I'll be back. All right, let's get into application, because I do have some thoughts. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with this shade right here. This is a great transition shade. I'm using an ABH blending brush, and you can see this one is pretty light. It doesn't have too much payoff, but it is the perfect transition color. I don't think it would show up on a deeper complexion though, so keep that in mind. So I'm just going to build that up right in the inner corner, and then with whatever's left on the brush, feel free to just bring it over, because we might do this technique later to blend out the edges. And then I wanted to see how much depth we could get from this shade right here. So I have it on an Esum S33 brush. And this shade I really love because I feel like, one, it has the pigment, and two, it literally blends itself out. Like, little to no effort is needed to blend this shade out, so I really, really like it. But one thing that I've noticed with this formula, though, is you do have to be careful because even though they blend themselves out, there is a chance for them to overblend to where they lose that initial pigment, so you do have to kind of go in and rebuild it up. But very easy to work with, especially if you're a beginner with shadow. That blend was so easy to get. So next up, I had to obviously go into the matte shades. So we're going to start off with the brighter color, and these shades can be hard to formulate. A lot of times I find that they don't hold their pigment well, or they're very, very dusty. This is a decent formula. I'm not going to go out and say this is the best lilac shade I've ever used, because that would be a lie. But you can see I don't have a sticky base underneath. I just have a little bit of concealer, and we have some opacity, but these can, once again, overblend. So if you want this lilac color to be as bright as possible, one, use a sticky/white base underneath, and that's how you get the most opacity with it. And then don't overblend it. Don't layer too many colors over top, because then you're going to lose the vividness from this shade. But it's pretty good. I like it. This shade is really pretty. I'd like this for an all over, almost kind of one and done, maybe two and done look. So if I were to use this alone on the eyelid, I would definitely have a stickier/lighter eye base like the ABH eye primer, and that will really make it pop. So you do have to adjust a little bit of your technique in order to get this to reach its full potential, but it's a nice shade. And then we're going into this one, which is a little bit more purpley, and this one I like a little less than the lavender shade, though this is lavender as well. But again, same thing in that light base, sticky base is when you're going to get true opacity, if that's what you're looking for in this shade. But for today's look in particular, these are just background shades since I have to use the shimmers. So it's fine if they overblend a little bit. Like you can see already, just by doing that, it has really dulled down the vividness of this shade. But gorgeous, right? And then we're going to hop into the darkest shade right here. This is a blinged brush, E22. Love the shape of this. Tap off your brush, and I'm going to really deepen out right here, the outer corner of the eye. This doesn't give as much depth as I was hoping. It's a little bit more sheer, but it is very, very easy to work with, and it does build up a little bit, but it's like deepens it up the perfect amount that you would need for this kind of look. But I wish it did have a little bit more depth in the pigment, but still very nice, very easy to use. This is a good grab and go lilac palette if you need one. It's not pretty. Love this. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the shimmers, and I've got to admit, you guys, I don't love the shimmers. So let me show you. They're just a little bit like of a drier formula, which is interesting because when I swatched, I was like, wow, this is so creamy. But when you apply them to the eyes, they don't look smooth. So if you have mature eyelids, you see how it looks very, very piecey, and you kind of have to work them into the skin. You can see the powder particles kind of sitting on top of the eye. It doesn't, like you see. Okay, I'm going to go into the lighter shade now. And these two shades, I feel like, don't look very different on the eyelid. But you see how it just doesn't look blended or smooth. So what I discovered with these shadows, if you're going to use them, you absolutely have to use a wet brush. So I'm going to start off with the darkest shade. I'm going to use a little bit of Fix Plus. And I'm going to put it right over here, and then I get what I want from the shade, right? It goes into the eyelid. It kind of loses that piecey look, which does add dimension to the lid, so don't completely knock it. But I feel it's hard to combine it with the matte shadows well if you don't wet the brush. Okay, and then I'm going into the lightest shade, and this is what's going to give almost like an iridescent look. Wet the brush. Oh, this shade is so pretty. I really like this shade. You see how it's just a little piecey looking. It's not my favorite shimmer formula. But the look is beautiful. I'm gonna reblend out these piecey parts. And we do need to get the lower lash line area. So give me a moment to finish the rest of my face and I'll be back. Okay, everything that's on the face will be linked down below, but let's finish this look up. So I definitely want to do the brighter purples on the inner part of the eye. So we're gonna start off with this one right here. And I'm just going to pop it right underneath. Oh wow, that has a lot of opacity right there on its own. And then I'm going to go in with this one right here, the two most beautiful shades, of course. And I'm going to put that on the rest of the lower lash line so you can really see the two colors side by side before we mix the darkest color. So that's how they look next to one another. But I do want to get some depth in, so we're going to go into the darkest shade. I'm going to use a concealer brush that I have just to clean up and sharpen down here. And then lastly, I do want to try this darkest shade as an eyeliner. So I'm using the teeny tiny BK Beauty 208 brush, and I'm going into the darkest shade, and I'm just going to press this really close against my lash line. You can also wet your brush for this if you want it to be more defined and less soft. But I just kind of want to get the darkest shade here. And it's darker than I thought it was going to be. I was worried it would be too soft, but it's building up nice. And I want to use this as our eyeliner today. Let's see if we can do a wing. It's probably not going to show up, but I'm going to try anyways. That was something. Should I do an inner corner wing? We'll do just like a baby one. Not the best for an inner corner wing, not dark enough. But anyways, I'm going to do some liner and lashes and we'll finally be playing with the lips. Alright, let's get on to the lips. I'm really excited for the Forget the Fillers and these new colors. They're so beautiful. I think we'll start off with the lighter one. Now, I like these because they're nice and thick on the lips. They're a little sticky, but they really do add a nice plump. I was looking online and it says it increases lip volume by 40%. I don't know about that. I don't think it's 40%, but I think this is a beautiful formula for a really plump lip. So let's try the shade Lavender Sorbet first. Okay, looks a little bit more sheer. Oh, it has like a milky, purpley color to it. I would say for the most part, it's pretty sheer. It's leaving behind like a little bit of milkiness that I don't like. But really smooth, like I said, very, very thick, but it really does visibly smooth any lines you have in the lips. So it's great for mature lips. You can feel a little bit of a tingle. I love this formula. That's cute. Let's try the next color, which I'm more excited about. I'm using Catrice lip liner, by the way, in the shade What a Doll. It's really great, kind of my natural lip color lip liner. I like to wear these Lawless lip colors with just a lip liner. So this is the shade Violet Bloom. Oh, this one, I have like a hair on my nose and it's really making me itch right here. Velvet Bloom, look at that. Let's see. Oh, I just kicked the camera, but oh my god. Very, very bright. Definitely not a color that I would normally go for, but I like it because it's so different from what I have from this formula, I probably honestly would end up wearing the Lavender Sorbet, the more clear one, more often, because this is a color and a half, but very, very pretty. Really happy she came out with this color in this formulation. Gotta do this to get the little stringies out. Okay, let me pull myself together and I'll give you my final thoughts. So overall, in terms of the eyeshadow, I like it, but I don't love it. There definitely are some adjustments that need to be made in order for the quality of this to reach its full potential. But that being said, I feel like it's a very fair price. It's a really great color story. I love the way that this eye look turned out. So, I mean, my biggest tips is 1, don't overblend, and then 2, wet your shimmers if you want them to look really smooth on the eyelid. So like the formula, don't love it, don't feel the need to collect a bunch of Lawless eyeshadow palettes, but I really, really like this color. So if you're interested, the Sephora sale coming up soon, this would be a good one. I'm really, really happy with the new colors of the Forget the Filler lip smoothers. I probably would reach for the more sheer Lavender Sorbet more, since this one is such kind of like a dolly pink color, just not one that I would wear a lot, but really, really fun. And if you haven't tried this formula before, really, really nice if you're looking for a little bit of plumps. So huge thank you to Lawless for sending these my way. I had fun getting ready with them today. I was hoping my hair would be dry by the end of this, but it's not. But anyways, thanks so much for hanging out with me and getting ready with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.